All right, Fresh. Let's go out west. Both these teams are 3-0. The Oregon State Beavers building that dam in Corvallis, and the Washington State Cougars. At time of record, Oregon State is a 3-point road favorite. Over-under is set at 56 points. Is this the Homeless Bowl?
It's the Pac-2 Bowl. It's kind of like you go to like a restaurant, like you have like the pick two. This is the Pac-2.
It's like Keno. I like Keno.
Yep.
All right,
Fun
Fresh.
stuff.
Oregon State, Washington State. This is going to be a great game. Folks, this is one of those games where I'm going to go out on a limb and say, this is one of those games that you don't want to miss. You don't want to miss an opportunity to see this game. I know that there's always going to be other stuff on. There's always going to be other games. This game is at 7 o'clock on Fox. If you can, have a second TV on, because this is going to be a really good matchup between these two. All right, Fresh, I'll turn it over to you. What you got going on for these two?
I mean, first off, everyone wants to look at the quarterbacks. Cam Ward for Washington State, who is a machine.
Right.
Probably one of the most I think if Penix Jr., Caleb, Shador, he would be up there with. He'd be the fourth best. He's the fourth best quarterback in the Pac-12. But when all those other guys are getting all the accolades, you kind of just get put down the pecking order, which is a shame. So if you really haven't seen him play, watch it just for him, because he will also make you like, wow, he has legs. He can run. He can throw. He's just as elite as the rest of the guys. The dude's a dude. On the other side, DJU, finding some resurgence now he's got out of Clemson. And we're starting to maybe see, maybe it was more about Dabo in that offense, and maybe the playmakers weren't exactly the best, because he's looking okay so far. Past those two, both these teams are battle tested. You'd think 3 games and you played some scrappy teams, but these guys have actually combined. They've beaten San Jose State, San Diego State, Wisconsin, and Colorado State. All 4 teams, the 3 of them at least, are very well respected. In Colorado State, but they're showing what they did versus Colorado. They have some talent there too. They haven't shied away from playing anybody, and they've come out and they've dominated all those football games. These teams are battle tested. They've played hard. They had to show up from day one and get the job done, and that's put them in a spot right now. Now they are ready for conference play, and we all know the Pac-12 this year, I'm going to say it at this point, is the best league. And I think everybody's been saying it. It's amazing at top to bottom. The depth of the conference has been fantastic. So you being 3-0, coming into this, your expectations now are even elevated. Obviously, both these teams are ranked. So you're not going to see slouches. You're not going to see rusty starts. These teams are there. But on the other side of that, who's ready for the pressure? The spotlight now is on the Cougars and the Beavers. Which of these teams is actually going to show up? Because this is only week 1 of conference play. It's only going to build if you keep winning, and the games are going to get tougher. Who's ready for that spotlight? Who wants to handle it and can handle and be able to keep their composure, play in and play out, game in and game out, starting from here and going forward? That's what I want to see. Where is the spotlight too big for them when the lights are the brightest? Both defenses have been very, very effective so far in the season. Washington State's defense allowed 24 points or less in each of their games so far. And Oregon State has allowed 17 points or less in every game, and a total of 33 points. That's 11 points a game. I mean, these defenses have been executing, getting off the field, 3-and-outs, turnovers. What do they have to do? But they are not letting anyone else on the scoreboard. So kind of a good balance where your offense has been effective, your defense has been elite. Who's going to break in this football game? This game's up in Pullman, Washington, up in there in the Paloofs. It's a long way to travel, and it's the middle of nowhere. So, it's a distance. You're going to have to hike. Who's ready to make that trip? Who's ready to get out there in the middle of nowhere in a hostile environment and be able to settle down and play? Cam Ward and that Washington State offense, they're 3rd in the nation, averaging 397 yards passing a game. They are throwing the ball all over the place. Watch out. If this game gets out of control and those receivers start moving around, it could be a long night for that Oregon State defense and basically show that they haven't really played anybody. And those 17 points, a game or less in all those games was just in a mirage and nothing truly factual. DJ is the quarterback for the Beavers. He's important. He can't mess it up. He's got to make some big plays, got to make some big throws. But their offense truly is going to revolve around Damian Martinez, the running back. He started off last year with a bang, had a great year. He's picking up right where he left off. But he's got to get going early. If he gets going early, it really fits in the entire Jonathan Smith offense of run the football, manage down distance, play action off of that, Keep the quarterback out of bad situations. Keep the quarterback out of bad down and distance. Do not put your offensive line in situations where it's pass only and that pass rush can get home and get a head start. If Martinez is going and the whole group of running backs are going, the offensive line's going, that offense flows. That's got to be the key for the Cougars. Shut down that running game, shut down Martinez, and force DJU to throw the ball. Force him to be desperate. Force him to get in a shootout. If you can put the points up quick and keep that offense back out there and put them on a point where they can't dictate the flow, that actually spells desperation. And we've seen that DJU at Clemson, where if it's desperation time, you have to start putting 3 or 4 receivers out there and you are no longer in charge of the game flow. You kind of start choking, maybe taking too many chances that you shouldn't. There's one thing about taking a chance on a play action or a 2nd and 10 from the 50-yard line where you can let it fly. You have nothing to worry about. There's some of when you're down by 10, 15, 20 points and you guys start throwing it every single play and playing a little more upbeat and bad things start happening, things start spiraling out of control. Which offense is going to dictate the pace of the game and the flow of the game? I really, really want the Cougars to win this, but I think the Beavers are much more of a battle-tested football team after their success last year and bringing back almost everybody. I think Jonathan Smith is a little more of a better coach, going to have them more prepared for the spotlight. They get it done. They go on the road. It's only a 2.5 point spread there in favor of the Beavers. I think they cover that easily. Oregon State gets a big, big win in the Palouse. But you're going to see a great showing from both these teams. It's not going to be because one team is terrible or they suck. It's going to be a battle to the end. They're going to win probably 6 points, but they're going to survive the trip. And they're going to get out of there with a W. But both teams will put on a good showing. The over-under is 56. They will clear that in street shoes. Put money on it. Run it all the way. It's going to happen.
Fresh, I'm with you. DJU's looked great. He's got to increase that completion percentage a little bit, but he looks like a different quarterback than what we saw at Clemson there. He's not exactly what he was coming out of high school, but he's better, and that's the good thing. But the star for Oregon State, everything starts with Damian Martinez, man. Kid's got 40 carries, 350 yards on the season. He's only found the end zone once, which kind of like shocked me a little bit when I was looking at some of his tape. He's averaging 8.8 yards a carry. It's going to be interesting. Can Washington stop the running game, especially for Oregon State? Really, the Beavers' defense has been what I've been really looking at, though, is they have 12 sacks on the year already in 3 games. So they're definitely getting pressure in this. Can Cameron Ward be able to handle that type of pressure? They're also allowing less than 60 yards rushing a game. Both of these teams are really, really good against the run. This is going to be a tight matchup. I'm looking to see who makes a big play. Damian Martinez is my choice. I think this is going to be one of those show me games. Let me introduce myself to the rest of the nation, show you how great of a running back I am. I hope people are going to tune in because think about this. At this time, you got Penn State, Iowa playing, Ohio State, Notre Dame playing. Trying to think who's the other 7 o'clock time slot one game is fresh.
There's a Baylor Texas game, Mississippi State, South Carolina. There's every network is going to have some solid matchup on it. That 7 to 7:30 window.
Right. So, and that's the other thing. Arkansas LSU is at 7. I hope people tune in for this game because I really, really think that this is going to be the best game of the evening when you talk about, oh man, did you see that game? I think it's going to be one of those games that those who did watch it are going to talk about it because I don't think a lot of people did see it. And that's unfortunate to me because I think this is going to be just a shootout between these two. Again, give me the Beavers in this. I like Beavers with more than 3 there, so give me them almost at a touchdown game. And I'm with you, Fresh. Give me the over after that 56 point there.
I mean, we're going to see if Washington State pulls this off. I think that's a major, even just tip of the cap to what they've done there in that staff,
Wow.
and they, quietly just built the program there, and really they're now a challenger.
Right. It's interesting because whoever wins this game, both of these teams, and this is funny because whoever wins this game is going to lead into our next matchup here in a second because these two teams play these two teams then the following week. So both teams are going to have a back-to-back ranked matchups here. But you know what the interesting thing with me, Fresh, is whoever wins this game, we need to start putting some serious respect on their name. We were high on Oregon State. We saw all of the talent that was coming back for Oregon State. We told people at the beginning of the year, don't sleep on the dam builders out there in Corvallis, man. Those Beavers are phenomenal. And the Cougars have kind of been a nice surprise. Like, I didn't expect them to be a ranked team, and they've played really well. So hats off to them. I feel bad that neither one of these two teams have a home next season, because if both of these teams are in the top 15, and they start saying, hey, we're going to be competitive, do people start calling them?
Well, there's a rumor right now with the whole Michigan State Mel Tucker thing that both these coaches are probably hot in that discussion. And if those teams don't find a home, there's no point. There's no
Right,
reason for them not to leave and go to the Big Ten. You have a better situation there, and you coach at a higher level. I'd find it really tough for Jonathan Smith since he's an Oregon State alum, but Dickert there at Washington State, he was born and raised in Wisconsin. It's kind of the same, Midwestern, upper Midwest.
right,
That might come calling, and he might go home.
right.
Well, relatively home.
Relatively. Go over the Big Ten country, back to Big Ten country, but Big Ten country is about ready to stretch coast to coast.
Might
All
as
right,
well add
man.
Hawaii while you're at it.
Yeah, might as well. And Alaska. Um, I just want to play games in Anchorage in December.